Well, Night of Champions is officially in the books, and WWE did a thing today. Not only did we crown a new king and queen of the ring, but we also crowned a new WWE champion. And this will get polarizing reactions, but it was the right call, as WWE booked at Night of Champions Sami Zayn to win the WWE Championship in Saudi Arabia, where he is beloved. This was absolutely the right call. This is something a couple weeks ago I started saying, as this whole real good guy angle has really been taking shape. I've been saying that Sami Zayn they need to strike while the iron is hot. So many times WWE will wait and do the slow burn and until the storyline gets stale, till the angle gets stale, till the character gets stale. But when you have something that's hot that can work, strike while the iron is hot. I don't care what your opinion of Sami Zayn is. Yes, Sami Zayn looks like he should be working in produce at Whole Foods. Absolutely. But that is 100% a part of the allure for a Sami Zayn, is that he does look like this ordinary guy, but then he gets in the ring, he gets on the mic, and he does extraordinary things. He has been given all kinds of different storylines and character changes and pivots in character, and he has made each and every last one of those things work on some level. He is the ultimate guy. You give me a lemon, I am going to squeeze that lemon dry and make some damn good lemonade along the way. And WWE did the right thing by doing this switch. I know we're close to SummerSlam and people were like, oh, but we're going to get Cody and CM Punk. That's a Mania match. That is not a SummerSlam match. A SummerSlam match is Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn, is Sami Zayn versus CM Punk. Maybe you put them in a triple threat. That does not need to happen. We're already going to get another, we've got Roman on the card for SummerSlam. So you don't have to give away all the mega matches at SummerSlam. SummerSlam should be your WrestleMania B-sides, right? That should be where you have like your second tier of great matches. This was absolutely amazing call. I'm going to start off right by talking about that main event. So the main event, the segment kicked off with Sami Zayn coming out, decked out in his Saudi gear, getting a huge ovation as he always gets in Saudi Arabia. And we always knew that if Sami was going to win a world championship, the place to do it was in Saudi Arabia. And so I think, if nothing else, and this may not be the longest title run ever. He may drop it at SummerSlam. He may, like, we don't know, but this was absolutely the right call. And Gunther comes out second, and then of course Cody Rhodes comes out. And the match was good. You got three guys that they really told a great story in the ring. Late in the match, Sami Zayn gets put through a table, and this is where the match really, this is, if you don't see any more of it, this is where you pick up. Sami Zayn goes through the table. This is where everything kicks into another gear. So now Sami Zayn is kind of eliminated out of the equation. So now Gunther is, all he has to do is worry about Cody, who he believes he can beat. He goes for sleeper hole after sleeper hole to really sell it, like, hey, I'm going to put this guy to sleep. So he puts a couple sleeper holes on him. And then finally he gets another sleeper hole on Cody Rhodes. And again, Sami is out of the equation, or so we think. Cody's about to pass out. Cody actually does pass out. And the ref is going to lift up his arm like they do. And then out of nowhere comes Sami Zayn, making sure that arm does not go down. Closing moments of the match, Cody Rhodes gets both Gunther and Sami Zayn in position for a Cody cutter, hits a double Cody cutter. Gunther is now out of the equation. Cody is about to hit Sami Zayn with another Cody cutter when Sami escapes it, rolls up Cody Rhodes. 1, 2, 3. I'm shocked. There's few outcomes of matches that I can say honestly get a reaction out of me. That one got a reaction out of me because I'm like, oh shit, they did it. And it was almost one of those moments. I remember was it WrestleMania 30 when Brock Lesnar broke the streak. I remember sitting in my apartment and, me and a homie of mine were sitting there watching it. And I remember hearing the 1, 2, 3 and it going silent and me going, what the hell? And still not believing 100% what I saw because they didn't immediately cut to Brock Lesnar's music. They let that moment set and the whole audience is looking like, what the hell? You got the black guy that was sitting in there with, looking all, like that and shit. And that was almost the feeling I got here. Like, I know what I saw, but I'm like, did they actually do it? And they did it. Sami Zayn is the new undisputed WWE champion. I hope they give him a decent run. I said a couple weeks ago on Wrestling Brother Talk Smack that a Sami Zayn title run right now would be more compelling and more interesting than either title reign we have currently with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. So now Sammy has his work cut out to make sure I don't look like a fucking idiot for saying that. So, but Sammy is as consistent as you get. He's made lemonade out of lemons for the past 9, 10 years. I'm glad he's got it. Congratulations to Sami Zayn. I am looking forward to Sami Zayn's title run on SmackDown. I'm looking forward to, more importantly, I'm looking forward to it being 2 hours. So now it's going to be 2 hours and you're going into a new era with a new champion. I am looking forward to SmackDown this Friday night. Okay, a new King of the Ring. So the night kicked off with Oba Femi versus Jey Uso. Jey Uso's first out to the ring. Of course, he goes through the audience and does the usual yeet. He runs it back. And then Oba Femi comes out and the crowd goes ecstatic for Oba Femi. Now, coming into this match, everybody expected there to be something with either the bloodline coming and helping Jey Uso win. The more obvious thing, because Oba has been mentioning Brock Lesnar almost ad nauseum, expecting Brock to come out and cost him the King of the Ring. I'm pleasantly surprised that neither one of those things happened. Not only did neither one of those things happen, we got a really good match between these two. It did exactly what it needed to do, but it was a really good match. So all you Jey Uso haters out there, I've been critical of him, but I'm not a Jey Uso hater. I like Bro. I like Bro a lot. I've been rocking with the Usos for a long time. He was a true savvy veteran. He was able to make himself look good and look like he belonged in that finals, as well as making Oba Femi look like the beast and the star that he is. So big ups to Jey Uso. Jey Uso, that this was a really good showing for Jey Uso. And past couple weeks, we've seen some of Jey Uso kind of on the mic with some better mic aware. Like there was a promo, I think it was off air, but it was on it was on all the socials, and it was like Jey Uso's best promo ever. And he's talking about going into the finals and he's talking about everything. And there was passion, there was everything. He wasn't winded. And then there was another promo that he was about to cut but got interrupted by Javon Evans, where it felt like he was about to get in his bag again. So I'm all for Jey Uso proving critics wrong. There's also a video of him talking about he's no longer worried about the fans and whatnot. So I like him, kind of getting into a darker version of this character. And there are levels that can come of this. So I think it'll be interesting to see how this all transpires on Monday, because not only did Jey Uso not win King of the Ring, but Oba Femi won King of the Ring. So now Jay's tribal chief plan is not going as planned. Roman was trying to duck. Well, maybe he ain't trying to duck the smoke with Oba. Let's not say that. But he wanted Jey Uso to win this thing so that he could go on and face Cody and hopefully bring that title back to the family as well. Again, if we know Roman Reigns, there's always something in it for Roman. And ducking Oba Femi would have been what was also in that for Roman. So now Roman's going to be on Monday Night Raw. And if I'm a betting man, that's going to get mentioned what happened. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out in the bloodline storyline, and it'll be interesting to see if Oba ends up picking Roman Reigns, because despite this being a great match, the winner was Oba Femi. And it was a great moment. It's the right person to have won the distinction of King of the Ring this year. With everything that he's done, you can't beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and then not shoot this guy to the moon. So it's absolutely the right move. It would appear that, and some people are out there saying, oh, what's going to happen is Oba's going to fight Brock Lesnar on night 1, and then on night 2, the winner of that is going to face Roman Reigns. I'm not totally against that. I would be interested in how they built it from a storyline perspective to make you invested in all of those little mini sub storylines within that to make it compelling, because ultimately you can do all the matches in the world that you want, but the main thing you want is to be able to tell a good story going in. And so that is where I would be. We don't need Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, number 10 or 11 at this point. These guys I think they've had a Mania trilogy at this point. Plus they face each other at SummerSlam and Saudi Arabia matches. That we good. But it would be interesting to see how that, maybe you somehow bring Paul Heyman into, maybe well, you wouldn't have to somehow, obviously, if Brock Lesnar's in, Paul Heyman will be involved, but maybe that dynamic can make it interesting as well. But Oba Femi's our King of the Ring, and Monday night is going to be interesting. All right, so Queen of the Ring championship match. Now, before the match started, Danhausen comes out. Danhausen is basically saying that he's come across a lot of human monies recently, and before he can really elaborate, Liv Morgan comes out. Liv Morgan, of all the people to go out and interrupt before a major matchup, would you not bring a mirror when you know you're about to interrupt Danhausen? So naturally, Danhausen curse Liv Morgan, which ultimately spoiled the outcome of this match. Now, this match was good between her and IYO SKY, but the crowd did not let you know that it was good. They were pretty dead, but they were when you start off super hot with, two people with entrances that people really love in Oba Femi and Jey Uso, plus the match itself was really good, then Oba wins, so now but like you're doing it again to help celebrate. There's only one direction to go when you're that match after that, and the crowd was a little quiet. So now this became, hey, I gotta go to the concessions, I gotta go run to the restroom. I'm a little out of breath from yeeting. So this was a good wrestling match. IYO SKY picks up the win and immediately set up our first match for SummerSlam that is official, and it's going to be her and Liv Morgan at SummerSlam for the Women's World Championship. And I fully expect IYO SKY to take it home finally. She's been, over the past year and a half, really holding it down for the women on an in-ring standpoint. And it's a damn shame that she didn't even get a Mania match. So I think they're gonna, I think it's payback season for IYO SKY. Well, that closes our ESPN portion of the PLE. And now if you don't have ESPN Plus, you better figure it out or fire up a VPN or something if you want to catch the second half. So the second half, or the ESPN Plus version of the show, kicked off with a cage match between Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. This match, the crowd was on fire for. I'm sure it had a lot to do with it being inside a cage, it being Seth Rollins, it being Bron Breakker. This match was incredible. Bron Breakker, got busted open all around his left eye, just bleeding profusely. Just a great visual. I believe that's one of those visuals we're going to see on WWE graphics in the near future. Great graphic. I personally wanted to see Bron Breakker win this one, but that means he didn't win it. So that means they've got something interesting planned for Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. And if you don't believe me, just ask the commentators. They just kept saying, "Oh, Seth Rollins can now officially move on from the Vision and into his next." So they're planning something there. I know he's alluded to wanting to challenge Roman Reigns, but maybe Oba's going to challenge Cody. I don't know. And I guess if Oba challenges Cody, we're gonna get Seth and Roman at SummerSlam, which I'm not mad at. But yeah, uh, Seth goes over in this match. There was a point at the end of the match where Seth Rollins was gonna do a curb stomp on Braun Breaker, but Braun Breaker is just like bleeding profusely, and it's just like no, 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 like. And Seth thinks about it. I would have took his head off anyway. But Seth Rollins ends up getting the win, and he's moving on. So be interesting to see what they do with Seth Rollins. I always feel the same. I say the same thing about Seth Rollins. He can eat a loss, and uh, are they cooling Braun Breaker off? Like where, it's one thing to see, okay, we're gonna do something with Seth, but then now where do we go with Braun Breaker? Just lost the tag team championships. Now he loses the cage match. This is the second match in a row he's lost to Seth Rollins. Where do we go with him? This is the guy that you guys were building up as the future multi-time main event, WrestleMania main eventer. I mean, he's losing everything right now. He lost his King of the Ring qualifier. He's lost the tag team championships. He's lost back to back to Seth Rollins. So where do we go with him? What happens next? Is this gonna, it has to lead to something. There needs to be some frustration. Is he gonna get kicked out of the Vision? Like something has to happen. We can't just gloss over all of this when this guy is supposed to be the big dog, and again, the future multi-time main WrestleMania main eventer. So I'll be interested to see what happens there. Next, we get our United States Championship match, Ricky Saints versus Trick Williams. Trick Williams comes out with Little Yachty. Little Yachty has like a kendo stick with him, which plays a big factor into some interesting things in this match. Ricky Saints has all the tools in that you need. He's got the look. He's got, the mic skills. But there's something about him that just is not translating to the audience right now. And I think, there's a couple things. So a lot of times I've even said it. I've compared a Trick Williams to The Rock. But it's not because he's sounds like The Rock or talks like The Rock or moves like The Rock or dresses like The Rock. It's the presentation, it's the aura, it's that feel that you get when he comes out, the way he's able to connect with the audience through his promos, through his charisma, what he does. But then you've got somebody like Ricky Saints, who you see kind of the emulation of. And I'm gonna be honest, if you can't do something better than the person that did it before, do something a little different. And I'm a big fan of doing something a little different because, again, we compare Trick Williams to The Rock, not because he looks like him or talks like him, but it's that feel that you got. It's the same feel that you had in those early SmackDowns when The Rock was the man. And I remember when SmackDown first began airing, because I didn't have cable at the time, it was the greatest thing ever. And some of the most must-see parts of SmackDown is whenever The Rock came out, because you knew it was either going to be an opening promo, or even if he had a match, he's going to get on the top rope or the middle rope and he's going to say, "My name is Kane," and like he's going to do something entertaining. And that's the same feel you get with Trick Williams. Ricky Saints needs to find that thing that helps him connect with the audience a little more, because when I looked at the match tonight, I saw a lot of value in what he can bring. In this match, Ricky Saints gets outside of the ring and he realizes he has an opportunity to leverage the fact that Little Yachty has that kendo stick. And so he lays down on the ground holding his head like he just got, knocked in the head by Little Yachty with this kendo stick. That is that Eddie Guerrero type heel stuff. And he did it so well. There were so many things he did so well in this match. And I'm just like, this guy is a star. But He's got to figure out a way to connect. And I think part of it is not being so over the top with with the almost being the Rock type character, right? I think it's corny that they feel like they have to put some sort of word in front of people's name. Like you've got all ego Ethan Page, and now you've got, what do they call Ricky Saints? All whatever it is, absolute Ricky Saints. Like you don't need that. To me, that makes things a little weird and corny too. But this match was good. It did what it needed to do. Trick Williams definitely needed to retain here. So he wins with the trick shot. Post match, Ricky Saints is about to be a sore loser and about to attack Trick Williams, who's celebrating on the top rope. And then but before that happens, Lil Yachty appears. Lil Yachty ends up hitting a people's elbow on Ricky Saints, and they walk off. And now it's on to our next match, which is the Women's United States match between Charlotte Flair and Charlotte Flair ended up being the most important thing of this whole match. So that's why I'm thinking of her. But between Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. Typical match. Nothing special. I feel like this could have been another match, could have been paid off. Honestly, for the spot that this match got, it would have, to me, made more sense to have the Julia and Kiana James match happen here, especially with the Blake Monroe debut. So this could have been flipped to SmackDown, because this match was just your come down match before the main event. And it was more of an angle than it was more about the angle than it was the match. Is never to get the title on Jade Cargill. It was to further the feud between her and Charlotte Flair, which happened. So of course Chelsea Green comes out to help her now bestie Tiffany Stratton. Charlotte Flair comes out as well, and because of course the baddies are there, so this is the backup because the baddies are there. Charlotte Flair hits Jade Cargill with the tag team championship belt, which led to Tiffany Stratton hitting the world's prettiest moonsault and getting the win. And so obviously this is going to lead to Jade and Charlotte at SummerSlam. All right. I already talked about the main event. Main event was everything. Congratulations to Sami Zayn. This PLE was good, guys. Not one that's shy about being critical of the product. This PLE was really good. What I liked about the PLE overall was they gave you a variety of matches. Every match felt different. Every match told a different story, which it should have, and every match felt different. You had your blood and guts in the cage match with Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. You had a fire triple threat match to close out the show. You had a really good match between the women in the Queen of the Ring finals match. You had the great match between Jey Uso and Oba Femi. Of course, you had Ricky Saints and Trick Williams. The other thing I really liked about this PLE that I noticed as I was watching is the WWE focusing on newer talent. There was, you had Oba Femi out there, you had Trick Williams out there, you had Ricky Saints out there, you had Sammy's not new, but somebody new winning a championship. But there's a lot of focus on the youth, and I appreciate that. You had so many people on this PLE that weren't even, on the main roster this time last year, and now they're in prominent places on a PLE in Saudi Arabia. So that was really good. So definitely a thumbs up PLE for me. I dare say it's a 2 thumbs up for me. If you got this far, I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can get updated each and every time I drop content on this channel. And go check out Night of Champions if you haven't already. You won't regret it.